So another weekend of must-win matches for Championship football clubs. Let's see what I predict in today's video. What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. It's Friday of course, so it's my Championship score predictions match day 31 we are on right now. This is really starting to get into the crunch time of the season. A load of clubs under pressure, some clubs doing miraculous runs of forms. It's really impossible to predict the Championship right now. If you got a correct score, your comment will be included in the video. Now, a lot of you did get a correct score. I think it was a record number of correct scores we had in midweek. Well done, all of you that did get a correct score prediction. I did unbelievably well, really. I had a big prediction drought, but I got 4 correct predictions in midweek, 3 Championship and 1 Premier League prediction as well. This is what the Lexus Hall of Fame looks like now. I am joint second with Charlie Brown. It's getting unbelievably tight. FIFA, we need to step up their game. FIFA only got 1 correct score in midweek. If you guys like what we see, please make sure you do give this video a like. Tremendously appreciated. If you haven't done, please subscribe to the channel. It'd really make my day. 402 subscribers as of recording this video now. Now's the time that you need to charge for 500 subscribers. If you can get there as soon as we can, all of that would really make my day. And please share my channel. It'll help me get bigger. All of that would really make my day. With any further ado, let's start predicting these weekend's games. So start off with tonight's game, Watford versus Derby. And honestly, I am really struggling to call this one. For me, both these sides I actually don't think performed all that well in midweek. Of course, both of them did get a win. No, Watford did get a 1-0 away win against Preston from a pretty dubious penalty. I won't lie, João Pedro stepped up and he managed to score it. And then with Derby, they had to rely on Andre Wisdom scoring a last-minute goal to get a 2-1 victory over Wycombe, where I don't think they were really good in that game at all. But with this game, I know Watford are definitely better at home. I know Troy Deeney's not going to be available. Whether that's going to be a huge loss to the squad, I don't think it's going to be a huge loss for them. As a prediction, I think both of these sides would definitely go for it, but it's just whether if one side can edge the other. Watford have a very strong home record, but I think Derby fighting for their lives right now. They've really picked up their form, and I think they'll restrict Watford from winning. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. Can't really cancel the two teams. FIFA 21's predicting a 1-0 away win to Derby. Next up is Coventry going up against Brentford. Coventry are in a very precarious position in the table right now. They were definitely in a position where they looked somewhat a little bit safe, especially pulling away from the relegation pack. But recently, after a run of 5 games without a win, they've really started to get pulled within it. They lost 2-0 at home to Norwich, where they were comprehensively beaten in midweek in every single shape or form. On the ball, Coventry look okay, but it's when Norwich attack, they look so exposed, and Norwich look like they'll score every single time. So it's basic organisation problems with Coventry right now. They play a Brentford side in their most vulnerable part of the season. They went on a 22-match unbeaten run, and then all of a sudden they have now got back-to-back defeats. And I don't think they should have lost against Queensborough Rangers. They were absolutely comfortable winning by 1-0 with Ivan Toney scoring the goal, but they conceded 2 goals in 2 minutes. But the fact they threw the lead away that quickly is a very worrying sign in my opinion. But I think Coventry is the perfect game for Brentford to try and step up and to try and regain their form. Norwich had a period like that already this season, so I think Brentford may have that poor period now, and then they'll pick their form up. As a prediction, I'm going to say 2-0 Brentford. I think they'll be relatively comfortable. Unfortunately with Coventry, I just don't think they are scoring enough goals right now, and I think Brentford will outscore them. FIFA 21 is predicting double my score with a 4-0 away victory with an Ivan Toney hat-trick. Next up is Bristol City versus Barnsley. Now for Bristol City, Paul Simpson and Keith Downing will be in charge in this game. And Bristol City right now, I've got the worst form in the Championship with 5 straight defeats. They need to find a way to try and stop that rot. They play a Barnsley side where they are starting to pick up their form, and to be honest with you, they're really starting to impress me, Barnsley, in terms of their high press. They did have a bit of a rocky patch, although they did play a load of tough sides, including playing Swansea twice and Norwich and Watford in the space of those games as well. I know Callum Styles won't be playing this game, although I do like a lot of Barnsley's squad. I really think they'll step up. I like Carlton Morris, I like Daryl Dike, who both impressed me against Blackburn when they managed to beat them by 2-1. As a prediction, I think the string of defeats is going to continue for Bristol City. I just think Barnsley is going to pose too tough of a test for Bristol City to turn their season around. It'll be close. I know Bristol City have not scored in their past 4 games or whatever. I'm going to say they fight, but I don't think it'll be enough. I'm going to say a 2-1 away victory to Barnsley FIFA 21 thinks that Bristol City will win for the first time in 5 games with a 2-0 victory. Next up is Cardiff versus Preston. Cardiff doing unbelievably well under Mick McCarthy. They've still not lost under him. 6 games unbeaten with 4 consecutive wins. And following this, they are now the team challenging to be in the top 6. They're still 6 points behind Bournemouth, but if they can sustain their good run of form, then Cardiff, I think, have as much of a chance as anyone to sneak into that top 6. Preston have been a very peculiar team. One time they look like they can be challenging top 6, another time they look like they're going to be in mid-table, and I've got to be honest with you, with their lack of consistency, I think Preston will not be in the top 6. I just think there's going to be too many teams above them that are going to have a better chance, and also I just cannot see Preston sustaining any form of consistency. They were very unlucky to lose to Watford though. I do think a draw would have been the fairer result for this game. I don't think either side really tested either goalkeeper whatsoever. With this game, I think Cardiff doing so well under Mick McCarthy. They definitely got an identity and they could definitely play under him, and they know how to get the best out of his Cardiff squad and to get the results as well. And I think this will continue with Preston. I think despite Preston managing to bounce back quite well with games, I think they'll have back-to-back defeats in this one because I think Cardiff are too strong. I'm going to say a 2-1 victory to Cardiff. I think it'll be close. FIFA 21 is predicting a 1-0 victory to Cardiff. Next up is Huddersfield versus Swansea. Now, I don't want to try and give a bad impression, but this one's going to be, in terms of predictions, how many goals are Swansea going to score? Because Huddersfield right now are definitely not in a fantastic run of form whatsoever. And they just don't look like a side that can get a win anytime soon. They had an open opportunity to play against a Middlesbrough side, who they themselves had a poor run of form as well. 5 games without a win Middlesbrough previously had, and Benza did take the lead. But they've been cheaply giving away goals. Although that goal from Duncan Watmore, I don't know what possessed him, but it was an unbelievable goal. They had the opportunity. They had 1 goal up. If they had their game management sorted, they could have definitely got a result. They play a Swansea side, which, to be fair, in midweek, I don't think they were particularly good, really. But what's really, really encouraging about this Swansea side, even if they're not playing well, they're getting the result. They got that 1-0 win. Connor Roberts getting the goal as well. And it's a good mentality for Swansea to have. Even if they may not be playing 100%, they're still able to find a way not to lose a game, but to always win a game as well. And following this, they're in a fantastic position. They've got 2 games in hand of Brentford and only 1 point behind them. I'm going to say a 2-0 away win for Swansea in this game. FIFA 21 has gone with a shock, a 1-0 Huddersfield victory, which, to be honest, it would typify the championship if that was the actual result. Next up is Millwall going up against Wycombe Wanderers. Millwall have really turned their season around in recent weeks. 7 games unbeaten now, and they're now in the top half of the table. I mean, we were discussing Millwall to be a potential side that could be dragged into the relegation battle, but they're definitely showing the sides who are in this relegation battle how to get out of it. Sustain a period of 5 to 7 games without losing, and you can definitely pull yourself away. They've only conceded 3 goals in their last 6 games as well, and 3 clean sheets in their last 6 games as well. So it's getting very tough to score past this Millwall side. They play a Wycombe side where I know they lost against Derby in midweek, but their performance was so good. And they were really unlucky not to get at least a draw in that game. As a prediction, I do think Wycombe will still show some spirit, but I think they'll be frustrated by Millwall. This could end as a 0-0 when I think about it now, but I'm actually going to say Millwall may edge this one just slightly. I think Millwall, with their good run of form, I think they'll get a new surge of confidence. I'm going to say 2-1 home victory to Millwall. Beavers predicted a 1-1 draw, which could have been another result that I was thinking about predicting as well. Next up is Norwich going up against Rotherham. I have to say, with their 2 previous performances, I think Norwich are starting to build themselves up again. And I have to say, the impact that Buendia has on this team is almost frightening how vulnerable Norwich can be without him. And I'm saying this now, if Buendia can stay fit for the rest of the season and not get a silly suspension, I think Norwich will definitely be going up. It's a matter of whether they're going to be champions or they'll be second next, because it's really tight in the top of the table. They had a very comfortable victory against Coventry in midweek. They play a Rotherham side where, despite winning 3 games in 4, they have now lost back-to-back games. They did lose narrowly 1-0 to Bournemouth. Philip Billing making the difference in that Bournemouth game, but I do think Bournemouth were slightly the deserved winners. It was quite a tight game actually, but I think this game will be a bridge too far for Rotherham. I think this will be really, really tough to get a result against the Norwich side that have a fantastic record in Carrow Road. They've only lost one home game all season, which was against Derby County. With this game, I'm going to say Norwich will continue to score plenty of goals and surge their way up the table. I'm going to say a 3-1 home victory to Norwich. FIFA 21 is predicting a 1-0 victory to Norwich. Next up is Nottingham Forest going up against Blackburn Rovers. Nottingham Forest did lose in midweek, but they were so unlucky to lose. Honestly, they really deserved to get something out of it. Anthony Knockout was unlucky not to score. He hit the crossbar just before half-time, and Forest got into some fantastic positions and at times actually cut Swansea apart, where Swansea's had a really strong defence, by far the best defence in the league, and Nottingham Forest at times did cut them apart. But it's a lack of clinical instinct up top, which has been their weakness from the start of the season, and they're still showing shades of it now. They have improved on it, but they need to try and eradicate that. Blackburn right now, once again like Preston, they're a former Lancashire club, very peculiar side. At times, you would associate them pushing for top 6. They were 8th place with 2 games in hand for Middlesbrough, looking like they were going to be the team challenging for the top 6. But now with 3 defeats in a row, it looks like they have really, really fallen away. And I think there's a bit of pressure on Tony Mowbray recently, especially with the squad he has. I think it's too good to be where they are right now, especially with the impact you can have with Adam Armstrong, the second top goal scorer, and Harvey Elliott. I think Blackburn could definitely try and step up and play Nottingham Forest's game. Nottingham Forest have been really tight at the back recently, not letting many goals in, so they could frustrate Blackburn in that sense. I can't really edge the sides. I was thinking Nottingham Forest, but actually I think Blackburn will show enough resistance to prevent Forest winning. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw, but very begrudgingly. FIFA 21 has predicted a 3-2 victory to Nottingham Forest, with Nottingham Forest putting off a 3-goal comeback. Unbelievable. Next up, it's Queen's Park Rangers going up against Bournemouth. Who knows who's going to win this one? Because honestly, I did not see Queen's Park Rangers beating Brentford, but they scored 2 quick-fire goals. Charlie Austin getting the second. I mean, what an impact he's had. A great victory to beat their West London rivals, Queen's Park Rangers, as well. Bournemouth did win by 1-0 against Rotherham. I did say it was a pretty tight game, actually, and you could argue that maybe they're not quite performing to their potential just of yet, but they are still getting wins, which is important. Interesting news with Bournemouth recently that they have been linked with Thierry Henry taking the manager's position, which in my opinion, the reason why they're going for him, he's big in name, but whether he's going to have the managerial qualities to put Bournemouth out of the Championship, I don't know if he can. He worked with Monaco, he's worked in MLS, he's never worked in the Championship. I think it'd be a huge risk taking Thierry Henry in personally, in my opinion. But regardless, Bournemouth will still be with Jonathan Woodgate with this game. As a prediction, I don't know what to go with because Queen's Park Rangers are doing so well. 5 wins in their last 6. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. Once again, I can't really back each side. FIFA 21 for once is going to agree with me. Next up is Reading versus Middlesbrough. Once again, a really, really tight game to call because both these sides recently have been having pretty poor runs of form, but both managed to bounce back really, really well with a win in midweek. Reading got a 2-0 away victory against Bristol City. That Michael Morrison goal though, unbelievable solo effort really. And then Middlesbrough, Duncan Watmore's solo goal. I tell you what, this is the match of the best solo goals in midweek. But enough on that. With this prediction, I really don't know what to go with because Reading did have previously have a bad form with 3 games without a win, but they did look pretty good against Bristol City. I know Bristol City were at their lowest point, but they did look very, very comfortable. Middlesbrough, despite going behind 2 Isaac in Benza with Huddersfield, they turned the game around very, very effectively and quickly as well. And in the second half, their game management was on point. They made it scrappy, stopping Huddersfield for having any opportunities to win. And that's what I feel. If they can definitely get the game to their control, they'll reduce Reading to try and get back into this. Oh, I don't know what to go with. FIFA 21 is going with 2-1 Middlesbrough. I'm going to therefore say 2-1 Reading, so we'll see who's right. Next up is Sheffield Wednesday going up against Birmingham. This is a huge game in the relegation battle. 23rd going up against 22nd. Now, Sheffield Wednesday, I am more confident that they'll get a result. They've had 5 home wins in a row, and Birmingham just don't look like a side that are going to score enough goals. And it's definitely a side for me that are too good to go down. Ita Cranker for me is just not getting the best out of that squad, especially when you've got the likes of San Jose, Ivan Sanchez, Jonathan Lecco. all these players that can really thrive in the Championship, in my opinion. The whole style of Birmingham has just not been getting effective results, and they've really been struggling for it. Against Millwall, they were comprehensively beaten by 2-0 to a side that don't score many goals, and they're lucky that it wasn't by more. Did you see the handball that was cleared off the line as well, which should have given Millwall a penalty? I know Sheffield Wednesday did lose against Stoke in midweek, and they weren't good at all. I thought Stoke comprehensively were much better than Sheffield Wednesday in all aspects in attacking and defence. But this game, I'm much more confident with Sheffield Wednesday at home. Therefore, I think Sheffield Wednesday will continue getting some points when they need them. I'm going to say a 1-0 victory to Sheffield Wednesday. I think will be very cagey. I think both sides will be very nervous. FIFA 21 is predicting a 1-1 draw, which would not be an ideal result for either of these sides. And then finally, Stoke versus Luton. I'm really intrigued about this game. Stoke managed to get a win in midweek, their first win in 10 matches against Sheffield Wednesday. Once again, going forward, I don't know about Stoke. They just don't seem to have a lot of confidence. They play a Luton Town side, which they did lose pretty comprehensively to Cardiff, a 2-0 home defeat. And Luton Town, another side a bit like Preston and Blackburn, pretty inconsistent. You don't really know what you're going to get from this Luton side. Therefore, I don't really know what to predict with these two sides. I'm thinking 0-0, but I'm actually going to compromise and say a 1-1 draw. But if it ends 0-0, I'm going to be fuming. FIFA 21 is predicting a 2-1 victory to Stoke, which is also a result I was thinking of predicting as well. But that is all my score predictions for Matchday 31. As always with this series, make sure you comment your score predictions in the comments down below. If you get a correct score prediction, your comment will be included, and you'll be included in the Alexa's Hall of Fame when I do my reviews on Monday. But any further ado now, to end the video, let's go through my Premier League predictions. Wolves and Leeds is very interesting. I'm going to say a 2-1 away victory to Leeds, actually. Southampton and Chelsea, I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea, but I hope we don't jinx it now. Burnley and West Brom, I'm going to say 2-1 Burnley. Liverpool, Everton. Oh, Merseyside Derby, I'm going to say 1-1 actually. Fulham, Sheffield United, I'm going to say 2-0 Fulham. I've been pretty impressed with Fulham's performances recently. West Ham and Spurs, I'm going to say 1-1. I think Spurs will be quite fatigued. Aston Villa and Leicester, I'm going to say 2-0 Leicester. I think it'll be pretty close. Arsenal, Manchester City, I'm going to say a 3-1 victory to Manchester City. Man United, Newcastle, I think Man United will comfortably win this one, 4-0. But that wraps it up for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure you do give this video a like. It's tremendously appreciated. If you haven't done, please subscribe to the channel. It would really make my day. And please share my channel to as many people as you can. All of that really make my day. Remember to comment your predictions in the comments down below, so your comment will be included, and you'll have a chance to be in Alexa's Hall of Fame. But thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary if you're studying this video. And as always, take care everyone.